look into my life and pop culture vibes. Welcome to Amani's Vibe. That's the space that I provide. Yeah, at Amani's Vibe.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Amani's Vibe, where it's always a vibe. I don't know if you can hear what's in the background, but let me pause it so I don't have to pay any copyright rules to anybody, because YouTube be listening even to the whisper and telling you that you have a copyright strike. But I am tonight looking at Love Island USA Season 8, Episode 4. And the show is really good. It's really, really good. That's all I'm going to say. So welcome. If you are not subscribed, please make sure to subscribe. I don't know if I get that little hype button that comes up, but if you see it, please hype up my video. Please share my videos. They're different. It might not be as exciting as other people, but I also am watching the show at face value. I am not going to Reddit, to the Love Island USA page, or to any of the gossip things to hear any of anything. And even though I'm not doing that, little things still seep in that I'm not looking for, but I just ignore it. I'm just looking at the show and dealing with the show. And it's actually so much better watching the show this way. And it's exactly how I watched season 7 too. So get ready. I'm about to break down what it is that I am seeing tonight. Okay, y'all. This is definitely probably the closest that I've ever come to a recap, because I just noticed so many things. And then I even took a break, y'all, to go back to the very first episode. So you know what? I'm going to start with my notes from that very first episode that I went back, because there is just things that I could not remember. I think it's because when the very first episode was on, you guys, I was so tired. And then I tried to rewatch it. And then it was a whole thing, because it comes on so late here. It comes on so late in Canada, and I had it to record. I don't know. I missed the little dance routine. So I actually wanted to go back and watch the little dance routine because that little dance routine can tell a lot of things. Okay. So first of all, in that little dance routine, Trinity doesn't dance at all. She's just laying on the floor dancing. She doesn't get up. So I'm just like, does that mean that Trinity can't dance? Bryce also doesn't dance that much. Okay. I couldn't remember Anaya's age. She's 23. And in her opening package, she said she was looking for her husband. We learned that her and her mom are besties. And we also learned that she's only been single for 6 months, y'all. And that she's always a hype girl for other people. And she's not particularly picky about height or race or anything. Okay. When Melanie was asked in her package about her, because she's the manager of a bikini store or something, and they asked her to describe her life according to the bikinis in her store, and Melanie said it would be the bikinis in the damage bin. Okay, that says a lot. And then Beatriz says she really likes a man with a mouth mullet, and I'm actually afraid to look up what that is. Completely afraid. Yep, I am afraid. Okay, so now let's get back to episode 4, okay? So episode 4, I was just like, it starts out with the women talking about Gabrielle, who apparently dated somebody who was 52, and Beatriz is like, are her pipe still working? Is there still plumbing? Oh my gosh, I'm 58. Y'all, 50s isn't that old, but I guess when you're in your 20s, I guess 50 seems old. And the fact that he is in his 20s, but he is from Brazil, and does he live in Miami? I'm just gonna tell you all a true story. I can't remember if it was 2016 or 2018, but I have a relative in Miami, so I've gone there a few times to visit. And on one of my trips, I was in CVS because I had to get, like, I don't know, a calling card or something. And the young guy in the store was like, "Hey, mama, how you doing?" And I was like, "I'm looking for a phone card." And he's like, "You look good, mama. You look good." And I was like, "How old are you?" He was like, "I'm 17, but that don't matter. Age is just a number." I'm like, "Kid, listen, I mentor youth that are older than you. No, but it doesn't matter. Matter, you could call me papi. I was like, no, no. But I was, to be honest, you guys, I was laughing, but I think that is a thing in Miami. I feel like I read that somewhere, with like young men. Anyway, I'm just gonna let you know that I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying that I am not surprised. Okay, not surprised. But to the young people listening to the show in their 20s, women in their 50s, like, we're not old. I feel like it used to be old back in the day. You know what I mean? Like, but I think like age has changed so much. Anyways, I just wanted to put that out there about my, just saying, just saying. Okay, so now let's get back to the show. So Beatriz, there she goes telling again, the women keep telling the guys their weaknesses, what upsets them, what. So there she is, Beatriz, there she goes telling Gabrielle all her weaknesses and the things that scare her. This is a very common thing in this group, and I don't get it. Okay, then I have the note here is just for y'all to remember that they never show the love story between the black couples. So I'm just letting y'all know this if you're listening. Serena and Cordell, we never actually saw that Serena did his hair every day. We never saw that they were romantic at all. So when she was upset, the viewers were like, "What's wrong with Serena?" You know what I mean? But they never showed it. And the producers often do this with the black couples until the fandom starts demanding of the show to start showing the love between the black couples. This also happened with Justine and Caleb. Sorry to bring them up. But in season 2, it was the same thing, and the fandom demanded it. I am not on the fandom page now, so I don't know what's going on, but I'm just letting y'all know that if Casey and Anaya are really close, the only glimpses that we have of that is that at night they do seem to be like cuddling and kissing and stuff. So that's kind of all we get about them. But I do still feel that they're still kind of feeling each other out. And if somebody else came that each of them really like, that they would easily be sidetracked. That's how I feel about Anaya and Casey. But for now, I think they're cute. That same formula happened with Alandria and Taylor, and when I did my think pieces last year, again, not looking at the fandom or anything, I kept saying I could not believe that Alandria was that delusional, that there's no way that Taylor wasn't showing her affection or acting anywhere towards her. I kept saying it because I go, that's what the producers do. I know y'all don't like to hear about him and her, but I'm just telling you the truth. And if you watch the interviews after, you would see that. You would even heard people on the show say that they were the strongest couple. They weren't saying that because they were all delusional. This is something that happens every season. I approached this show knowing how they edit the show, and I learned that the first time I watched it, between season 1 and 2. And ever since then, I've always watched this show knowing that there are edits that form certain storylines, and that is just what they do. And the fans fall for it every season. I don't understand, y'all. You know this. You know this. Anyway, okay, back to what I was saying. Then Melanie talks to Anaya about Kata, whose name she can never remember. What was her name? Okay, and then Anaya's like, Kata, okay? And then she says that she wants some sincerity from Sincere. And then she tells Anaya that she's going to pull KC and whoever else she said, I don't know, I blanked out at KC. Then she goes into the confessional and she talks about how it's a villa full of men. There are men everywhere, and she can have any man she wants to get whatever it is that she needs because it's raining men in the villa. Okay, Melanie. Okay. Casey tells Gabrielle that Anaya doesn't get jealous. This is like their conversation, I guess, before they're going to sleep that night. And I think, remember this, y'all. Just remember this. Casey tells Gabrielle that Anaya doesn't get jealous or take things personally. And Gabrielle's like, oh, that's cool. Zach goes to hug Bryce, who's in bed with Trinity. And Trisney's like, be gone with you. Sean kisses Kenzie as they are now in separate beds, and they've been kissing since they were in the water, and they did that falling in the water thing, so they've been like that. I don't understand it, but whatever. And now, yeah, so they're kissing, and then he goes back to his separate bed, but I know that he's just doing this as a pastime. Another thing I want to say to my followers, y'all, fandom. I don't understand the fandom, okay? Season 7 was a dump fire. It was terrible because it was like everybody watched the show and so they just weren't natural. You know what I mean? That's why season 7 was such a mess. It was like everybody that was on the show had watched Love Island, maybe just season 6 and studied it or something. And season 6 is not indicative of how Love Island really is. If people have never watched a show before, I'm always going to tell them watch season 2, 4, and 5. Watch those seasons, just to see what the show was like. And there's a lot of craziness before too with the pulling people in. So this stuff happens every season, okay? But then the fandom, you're complaining about season 7, and now you're complaining because the people this season don't understand any of the rules because they made sure, because of the fandom, to get people that don't understand everything about the show, may not be well versed in everything. That's why everything is just happening as it is. So I just wanted to explain that, and I think that's why I'm enjoying it, because they don't know. There's no rule. They're just on Love Island the way it used to be in the old days, okay? And I actually enjoy all of the facts that nobody knows. They don't know how to ask permission to talk to somebody. They don't know if they can just talk to somebody. They don't seem to have any ground rules for anything. The people that are in couples, or the girls or the guys. And to be honest, I love that. I love that mess. Okay? All right. Now back to what I was saying. So, Zach, I just said, yeah, Zach goes to hug Bryce and Trinity's like, see ya. Sean kisses Kenzie. Okay, yeah, I just said that in the beds. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now Kata, I keep coming back to this. She really seems to like Zach. I don't know why that surprises me so much, y'all. And I think Zach is really good looking, and I think Kata is very beautiful. I just couldn't tell if she really liked him, but she really seems like she does. And I'm starting to warm up to her. I'm starting to think, okay, she's not going to change up. Melanie's changing. Okay, so anyway, so then we have Melanie, who went to bed with a vengeance, and she was like, I don't want to cuddle. Okay. So the next morning, Sincere brings Melanie breakfast, but she kisses him. Then she puts the food down and she's in a mood, and she's like, I don't want it. She doesn't really want to eat it. And then I'm thinking, y'all, remember, these people could have PMS. I suffered really bad from PMS, y'all. Like, I had mood swings that were like, there was like a condition. Okay, so, Melanie it could be that time, y'all, because her moods, outside of her romantic stuff that she talked about that she does have a problem with, her moods seem, a little off kilter. As a matter of fact, I thought Kenzie would be more acting the way Melanie is, to be honest, but Kenzie, she's still one of my favorites. I think she's funny. Anyway, then after her putting down her food and having her mood swing, she goes and pulls Casey for a chat. And then she says that she thought the back of his the tattoo on his back, but I think she said the back of his tattoo says surprise. I still don't know what his back says, so I'm going to put that up as a question. I have no idea. I keep trying to read it, but I only see like the side. What does Casey's back say? It starts with an S. Like, does it say Santa? Does it say Stunner? I don't understand. And I'm not looking at anything to find out. So I'm gonna ask y'all. I'm gonna ask y'all, my people, my Vibe Squad. What does Casey's back say? Okay, then so Melanie talks to Casey, and Anaya is perturbed. Anaya is a very calm, perturbed person. She's talking to the guys, very calmly perturbed. And we learn that Casey, while he's talking to Melanie, that Casey has a lot of siblings on both sides of his family, and he's not really down with that. He really wants to travel, enjoy life first, as opposed to just popping children out. Then we cut to Anaya and Sincere. We learn that Casey is very chill. So Anaya is not sure how he feels about her while he's over there talking to Melanie. Okay, so Melanie's talking to Casey and Anaya is talking to Sincere, and she's just, again, pleasantly perturbed at what Melanie's doing. But I hope she's noting what Melanie's doing. Anyway, Sincere then says that the two of them, meaning him and Anaya, have that title of couple. And is that a good thing or isn't it? Then Zach and Kata have one of their little trivia convos. Zach said it feels natural with her, but he says in real life that they would never ever have met or ever cross paths in real life. He said that in the confessional, and that just stood out to me. And remember, I still think that Zach likes Trinity. Okay, it's not showing in the show, but it's just a thing. It's the thing. Okay, so then we have Melanie. Melanie tells Kenzie that she enjoyed talking to Casey and she wants to keep talking to him. So that's interesting. That's when I was like, I don't know what's going on here. Let me go back to the first episode and remember who these people are. Literally. Okay, so now it's going to be time for one of those challenges on Love Island USA where the guys probably will have on more clothes than the girlies because that's just how they do. But to be honest, the outfits were actually kind of cute and they did seem to have a little bit more clothing on than usual. It was still minimal though, of course. So they're doing an office challenge. I don't know what this challenge is called, but they're dressed in like cute office wear, I guess, cute little outfits. They're nice and everything, and they're asked different questions, and this is a high level overview, so I'm gonna just tell you about the things that really stood out to me, okay, as I stall to find. I actually took a lot of notes. This is the most notes I've ever taken. Honestly, for real. Okay, so office game starts and we learn who has a secret crush, okay, in the office. So we're going to start with just the things that stood out to me. So Beatrice's secret crush is Sincere. I think I wanted to look at this and just note it, okay? Anaya's secret crush was Sean, and we already kind of know that, okay? Poor Casey. Anaya also slimed him, and then he fell off of his chair. Casey, like, between nobody on the other side of the door at the plant, and he has a lot of mishaps, but it's okay, Casey. Like, I'm here for you, okay? We learned that Trinity's secret crush is also Sean. And then she's kind of mean to Bryce in a nice way. Trinity, she'll cut you with a smile. That's what I'm learning about her. I'm telling you, she's the queen of one-liners, but man, I'm telling you, Trinity, she ain't easy at all. So she slimes her couple, and then she has to kiss him after. Poor Bryce, he just looks so hurt. We learn that Melanie's secret crush is KC. Okay, Melanie. Trouble. That's a note I have here. Anaya is very calmly upset throughout this. She's a very calm, upset sister. Okay, and then Melanie, surprise, surprise, she slimes Kata. Okay, then we learned that Kenzie comes out and does the splits and a lot of things that I don't even know what's going on. All I know is that every time Kenzie was in the confessional with her hair all stuck together and the glasses. Oh my goodness, I'm telling y'all, she's just one of my favorites. I'm sorry. Anyway, Kenzie's office can't even talk. Kenzie's office crush is Gabrielle. Then she picks Sean for her person, and she in the confessional talking about that was a fantasy of hers with all the papers and pencils and everyone watching. That's her office secret fantasy. Whew, whew. Oh my goodness, I'm lightheaded. Okay, we learned that Kata's office crush is Sincere. And I wonder if he really is, but she's just there to get her get back with Melanie, and I don't blame her. But then she dumps him in the slime because the question was who needs a promotion from their couple? And she says Sincere. And Sincere says, just me? No one else? And she's like, nope, no one else. And Zach is also very chill. Then they kiss, whatever. One thing I noticed with this challenge, though, was that there were no votes. A lot of times when they have things like that, they might say, like, who is the best office worker? Who is this? But there were no votes. And I wonder if that's something the show has learned from things that have happened before. I don't know. I'm just saying. I feel like this was a type of challenge where they might have voted on who was the best admin assistant, who was the best whatever, but they had no votes. Okay. So because when they had this challenge, all the girls went into an office where they could get a promotion or extra money or a raise. I think it was called accounts receivable, where they received an account, but it was a kiss from Corbin, the tall, light-skinned male that the men don't know about. So when the girls would go in there, he would give them a raise, literally. And so then after the challenge, the girls are talking about Corbin in the office, and Kenzie, I just have Kenzie is killing me. Melanie is just like, he's my type. He's my type. And that's she's going on about that in the confessional, how Corbin, their bombshell, is her type. The guys are talking, and Bryce is upset that Trinity slimed him. And then they talk about Kata. Then it's back to the girls, and Melanie asks why Kata said that Sincere needed a promotion, and then they were just like, okay, we're cool, we're not really fighting. But Kata was like, you know, you came for me, I came for you, pretty much. Then Sean and Sincere talk about the kiss with Kata and says he didn't want to stop kissing her. Sean says he feels like that Kenzie is emotionally immature based on how she treated Zach. Like, just because Zach wasn't interested in her, then she was just like, I don't want to talk to you, and she never did. And he sees that as a warning sign, even for him. Then it's time the ladies all get ready for the night, because that's what they do. Then they get ready, where they dress up and stuff, I guess. Okay, so the men then talk about, as they're getting ready, if they're all going to stick with their same partners, and they all seem to say yes, of course. Of course, they don't know anything about Corbin yet, okay? Trinity and Bryce talk, and he says that she slimed him, and he was really upset about it. He's like sensitive, and he really liked their connection and that they were building a foundation. And Trendy was like, oh, I just thought this was like a friend zone. And then she asked him pretty much to step it up a little bit. Then if you like me, then step it up. Beatriz goes to talk to Kenzie about why she picked her, and says Kenzie should have pulled her aside before talking to Gabrielle. Kenzie's like, oh, she didn't really think about it that way. She's just so much in her head. They're cool. Kenzie and Beatriz hug it out. Conversation goes good. Then Trinity and Anaya talk about their convo. And then Trinity gets a text. Okay? Trinity and Anaya. Listen, post-concussion syndrome and this show and the names. If it's taking you a minute, I'm just going to pause here. Okay, Trinity, yes. Okay, Trinity from the small country town, and I, the two black girls. Okay, so they're just talking about their combo. Okay, and then Trinity gets a text. Okay, so then along comes, boom, 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 boom. Along comes 6 foot tall tree they would like to climb. That's what Beatrice said, Corbin. He's 22, 6'4". And the girls are all excited, and the guys are like, who dat? Then Corbin comes around the fire pit and says, it's nice to see you all again. And all the guys look puzzled, especially Gabrielle and Casey. They look the most stressed out of all the guys. Zach looks like he wants to be sick, literally, looking at Corbin. And Bryce is just sitting there stunned. And then Corbin is like, can I talk to your girls? So he asks the guys that. So now Corbin, with his deep voice, says he wants to get to know each of the girls, and then he asked them for the gossip, and Amaya is smitten. She's smitten with him. Okay, Anaya. Sorry, y'all, I'm getting tired. Then Sincere peeps how excited Melanie is, and Zach is realizing that the women were in the room with him. And then they came back all excited to kiss them. He's putting all the pieces together of when they went into that secret room, accounts payable for their promotion of what really went down. And you can tell that it's kind of like getting to Zach. And that seems to be all he's thinking about. So then they start to talk. So the girls then start to talk to Corbin. They ask him about who he is. Tell us about yourself. Melanie cuts them all off and pulls him. And then Bay is like, it should have been Kenzie. And Kata says, yeah, Kenzie should be next because she doesn't have a partner. I just want to interject here. Ladies, forget about all that. Kenzie's fine. She's good. You don't need to make her first. She doesn't need to be first for anything. Kenzie can handle herself, okay? Okay, I was a little bit worried about her at first, but she is good, and she got Sean as a partner. Y'all don't need to protect her. She's okay. All right, coming back to what I'm saying now. Melanie now is talking to Corbin about a whole lot of nothing. Blah, 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 blah. She's from Philly, blah, 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 blah. Then she heads back down to the girls and says, he's hot, he's hot, he's hot. And then I'm just like, where did Kenzie go? And then I'm like, oh, was it her turn? Is she with Corbin? And then I'm like, wait, where did Kata go? That's me watching the show, okay? So I noticed there's only 3 guys, Casey, Gabrielle, and Bryce, that are on their like couch or whatever. And so now it's Bea and Melanie, and Bea's like, no, I'm going to talk to her about how she was, because that was just off, how she just cut everybody off, and it should have been Kenzie. So she just tries to talk to Melanie about that, and Melanie is like, what? Saying, she didn't mean anything. She has kind of a big grin on her face. She's a bit nervous. Trinity looks nervous, very nervous during this. There's a lot of silence. You can tell there's tension in the air, and basically Melanie walks off because she's upset with Bea's tone. Bea doesn't think she had a tone. She walks off, and then it's like, oh, that's where Kata is. She's with Zach. And then Melanie walks up to them, and she's like, can I talk? I need to talk to somebody. Can I talk to you guys? And Kata's like, did Zach say, well, hello? I think Zach was like, oh, hello. Anyways, these people are, oh my goodness, you guys. Anyway, next, Anaya, of course, the peacemaker, and she said that in her talk piece. That's what she does. She gets up from the couch to try to talk to Melanie, to try to tell her to come back to the couch, right? Melanie's kind of pacing. This did remind me of Serena. I do hate to make references, but it's just the way Melanie was just walking around, right? And Anaya just wanted her to come to the coach, right? But Melanie was like, she needed a break. So what she's trying to say to Anaya is like, leave me alone. I just need 10. Give me 10. Give me 10. Give me 10. Give me 10. She's just pacing and saying, give me 10. And I'm not laughing at their pain, you guys, because I am the nice reviewer, but it's funny. She just kept saying, I need 10. Give me 10. Give me 10. And then Beatriz says that she was a bit excessive. And then you know what? The show ends somewhere around there. But the give me 10, like, it was amazing. I know what she was saying. I know what it's like too. When you just don't want to talk to anybody? For me, I would say, I've never said that. If I think someone's cute, I might say like, I just need 5 minutes. I just need 5 minutes. But no, she's like, give me 10. She's saying that she needs a break, Anaya. Like, Anaya, don't try to help everybody. Just take care of yourself. You know what I mean? Because this girl is going after your man. Anyway, are we noticing that? Okay, anyway, the show ends there. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to hype up my videos. And I hope you enjoyed listening to me, because it took a lot out of me and I'm really tired now. Oh my goodness. And there's going to be another show. Like, there's still another show to watch that's going to be absolutely cray-cray. But thank you. I am the Amani in Amani's Vibe. This was a think piece on Love Island USA, Season 8, Episode 4. Gimme 10. Gimme 10. And that's what's up.
Amani's Vibe. Welcome to Amani's Vibe. That's the space that I provide. Ooh. No negativity, no lies. Here is just positive vibes. Love Island USA, pop culture, sports, and telling stories in my own way.